Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So oddly enough, we are going to be talking about the Stranger Things concept art and stuff. And so I'm gonna let me capture my cursor, whatever. So basically I wanted to make this video just because of the fact that I really love Stranger Things a lot. It's like one of my favorite shows on Netflix, like one of my favorite shows. And I really do enjoy like the cast and characters a bunch, like they're like the best part about the show. And I was of course really excited for the Stranger Things Telltale game to come out, but it got canceled unfortunately because they did go bankrupt. However, I was looking up like information about the game, and there's not a lot of people that made like concept art videos talking about it, and they mostly talked about like the footage. No one really went in detail about like what the game was going to be about or like what we've shown, because there was a bunch of concept art that no one really cared about to make. So I thought I would be like in a way the first to make like an official like whole lost content video about Stranger Things, since I really do love the show a lot and I love Telltale Games a bunch. So I made this Google slide. There's like 56 slides, and then I'm going to show you guys the 4 clips and go into detail about that. But yeah, before we get started with this video, I really want you guys to drop a like on this video, like really please. Like this took almost a whole day to make, like the whole afternoon, at least the whole afternoon to make this video. And I was like trying to find it as well, because there was like a picture of 11 I could not find. I was looking for it for an hour. I could not find it. So it would really mean a lot to you guys. It would really mean a lot if you guys would thumbs up the video. But yeah, we're gonna get started. I do have my notes, so let me go grab that real quick. Alright, I do have like a bunch of notes that I basically like wrote down just so I can remember to make sure I like wrote everything. And so we're gonna get started. So here's some concept art of Mike, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know if I've seen him wear this type of clothes. I know he has a watch, if I'm correct. So this is pretty interesting. This seems to be like before his like season 2 era, which I'll get to more details about. But like a lot of the characters besides 11 are really based off their season 2 models. Season 3 was supposed to be released right after after the Telltale game. So the game was supposed to come out before Stranger Things season 3. That's the wording, I think. Or did I get it mixed up? I don't even know. But yeah, here's another picture of Mike with his concept art. This seems to be like considering they like highlighted this concept art, this seems to be like the look that he was gonna look. He doesn't have a model, unfortunately, but this seems to be like what the design was gonna be at first. With the jacket, like both with the jacket and without the jacket. And then we go to the next character, Will. So Will, here are a bunch of clothes that are showing like different options. I really like personally like the first one and the third one. I have seen him wear the third one in the show, so I think they did go with the third one. Here is a design of Will. I'm guessing this is just like a drawing of like what they want Will to look like. And they were definitely giving like a unique look to all these characters. The look, I get a bunch of like Back to the Future vibes with the character models, because I think Back to the Future was set in the 70s or 80s, something like that. I'm getting it wrong, I know. And so they were trying to go for that look and style of Back to the Future look, which I find to be pretty interesting. However, I will admit, as soon as we get to like the actual character models, you'll see my issue with it in a second. This one's really cool. It's Lucas, fucking Lucas. I think he's awesome. Lucas, he has his slingshot that could have been like a main mechanic in the game. So far we don't know if he would have been playable. I don't think he was gonna be playable, but it would have been cool to like attack enemies with the slingshot. Here's some drawings of Lucas from season 2, because I remember he had like a little headband in season 2. I don't know if it was that exact same headband, but I'm pretty sure these are like designs inspired by season 2, obviously. This was so fucking hard to find, so I got really confused. I guess I can talk about it a little bit right now. The game was basically pitched in 2016 from what I found online, but the idea was rejected basically, and this was under Kevin Bruner's leadership, so of course he was gonna fucking reject it. It was under Kevin Bruner's like leadership, and so when leadership changed, this was in 2017, Pete Hawley decided to want to make a Stranger Things game, and he really liked the partnership with Netflix, and this also created like the Minecraft Story Mode on Netflix partnership. So that was like really exciting as well, because they were gonna bring the first five episodes of Minecraft Story Mode onto Netflix, and they were making a Stranger Things game as well. And so that was pretty cool. It was also supposed to be the first Telltale game to use Unity engine, which they never really done before. They used the Telltale tool, I believe it's called. So that would have been interesting to see. I doubt there would have been a difference. It just would have been easier maybe for the dev team to work on an easier engine, because I think Unity, the Telltale engine is like super old, so of course the Unity engine would have been nicer. But yeah, this was the picture that was so hard to find. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found it on the Russian website. But yeah, here's a picture of 11, and this is her character model. The reason why I got confused was because I'll talk about it later, like I said, but like I was very confused if this takes place before season 2 or after season 3. But it seems like it takes place before season 2. So yeah, it looks like her season 3's character model in the show, her appearance in the show, because of the long hair. But it seems like she could have had this long hair like way before season 2, and Hopper just decided to cut it, which is why she has short hair in season 2. That's what I'm assuming, at least. That's like the theory, just because of the fact in certain gameplay there's like dialogue that doesn't really make sense, so of course there has to be I guess an explanation. This is like the best I could figure out, okay? You guys can figure out with your own theories. Here is a drawing of Joyce, and it shows her in her uniform outfit. But yeah, it's like literally hard to tell because like she looks the same in all 3 seasons with her uniform outfit. So that's pretty cool that we have a comparison of both her in the show with the uniform and in game with the uniform. I find it to be freaking awesome. Now here's a picture of Steve. I remember he had like a jacket in season 2, and I remember that just because of the fact that it was in Dead by Daylight when his character model was in it. But I don't know if he ever wore this in season 1. So I'm assuming this was just a new thing in season 2, and Telltale Games just obviously got inspiration from season 2, or like took ideas. I shouldn't even say inspiration because it's the exact same like universe and stuff. But yeah, this is a character model of Steve, and I love his white fans. Are they white fans? I don't even know. And here's like a picture of Hopper. There's like various like skins of like him with the hat and without the hat. So of course these are just drawings. More interesting ones would be the concept art. But yeah, these concept art so far, these are concept art that are basically just like, I guess, regular NPCs in the game. Of course Telltale Games usually likes to do this. They like did it with Game of Thrones as well because they had to. They just create some NPCs that would be like in the background so you wouldn't really notice them. That way they felt like they were in the 80s, 70s, 80s technically, because they're in the early 80s, I believe. So yeah, these are pretty cool. It seems to be like a little boy. They like went with different various designs of like what they wanted the kid to look like. It seemed like they went like in more. It could have been possible that this kid could have been like more of a like a little bit of a bigger role than the other NPCs, but I wouldn't say like a main character. But clearly there was like some focus on this character in particular, and I don't know if he could have been an importance to the main story, of course, but just ideas. Here's some others as well. They try to do like preteens, as you can see. They went for like a nerd type of character, and then like a skater, cool, popular guy, and just a regular dude, I guess. They really went like with a bunch of different styles with the NPCs, and I totally forgot you guys can see my mouse. I personally think this one's pretty cool. This one, it's like so cool. I love when Telltale, I guess it's any game with concept art, they like go for like really different designs. Like he's supposed to be like the skater type, while he's supposed to be like more of like a nerd type of like character, which is obvious. So that's pretty cool. And there's the same character from earlier again. Does he have a name? No, he doesn't have a name. Here's like another character that I did drawing. I thought it was Nancy at first, honestly, but like judging by the concept art, Nancy and Jonathan were not really going to be a main part of this game, and I can understand why, sort of. So they like try to go with like a character that would like be around Nancy's age, I guess, like that type of character. And same with this. I don't know why, but I got vibes of her being like Barb in a way. I think it's because like the head shape, I believe. I think that's why. So I don't know, they could have been friends or not, but they were just trying to make NPCs, honestly. I don't think there's anything crazy in depth about these characters. But yeah, like more designs of like the NPCs. They like try to go with like a red hair look. That literally looks like Barb. What the fuck? Okay. And yeah, there's like this girl NPC, I'm assuming. The characters that have like 3D models, I'm assuming they're gonna have like big roles, so that's like why these characters don't have like 3D models. But it could be possible that they could have had like somewhat of a role, but I'm just gonna assume that they were background characters and they weren't really meant for anything other than just being background characters. Here's like a better design of them with different hairs. This character, Lemon, I will go way more in depth later in the video, but he seems to be like a Hawkins High School like type of bully jock, I would assume, a smoker. He looks a little bit old, like really old, but I'm assuming it's because it could be possible that he's like an adult, I would assume as well. Like his shirt is like really all turned up, and it could be possible that that was like from the previous years of Hawkins High School. Maybe a dropout, I would assume, just because of the way that it's like designed, and he seems to be smoking possibly weed just because his eyes are somewhat red. I don't even know. But yeah, Lemon. Hopefully I remember that name. If I don't, then I'm sorry. Like literally, these are like unknown characters. This is really cool though. Here's a picture of like all of the characters in the woods, and it's really cool this time just because of the fact that Will wasn't obviously like a big part of season 1. Season 2, Will was a big part. When I say big part, I mean like we didn't see Will in season 1 really. We only saw him like near the beginning and end, I think. For season 2, we did see Will, but he was under control of the Mind Flayer, I believe. So there wasn't really anything crazy about Will in season 2, and we got to see him a little bit more in season 3. I don't know. I have to rewatch the show because it's been like such a long time since I've seen it. But it's pretty interesting to see the main cast. Interesting thing, Max isn't here, so keep that in mind. Like these are obviously like the main 4 focused characters. And this is really cool. We have concept art of all the main characters, not all the main characters, but we have Lucas, we have Hopper, we have Joyce, we have Will, and we have Dustin. So I find it to be pretty interesting just because of the fact that they already made the character models for them, and that episode 1, I guess I can mention it now. There were like talks about the the actors returning to like voice their characters. I couldn't find any evidence for that for me. I would assume that would be like a thing just because Telltale Games has done it before, like Game of Thrones, and that's pretty much it. Like Game of Thrones, like they actually got like the actors to voice act their characters. So I'm assuming that was going to be like a big targeting for the game as well, is that the actors from the show would be here to voice the game characters. I'm assuming that's why Nancy and Jonathan were not in this game, just because it could be possible that they couldn't like get them to voice act like the characters. I'm assuming that's what I'm assuming, at least. I don't know what the deal is, but they could have been in the game and maybe not shown. But I really do think that they were just not in the project at all. But yeah, we have these characters, and we'll go in depth about it in a second. But yeah, something I wanted to mention was that Telltale Games got sued. Actually, I originally thought they got sued just because of the fact that they leaked the announcement, but apparently I think Netflix leaked the announcement, something like that. I don't even know. That's like the confusing part. Telltale got sued apparently just because the gameplay footage got leaked, which we'll watch in the end of this video. But yeah, I'm assuming that's what happened. They got sued for like $1 million, I believe, so that's like pretty insane. I'm glad we got to see the footage, but price of like $1 million? I don't know, Chief. But yeah, here's a character model of Will. This seems to be like his everyday outfit. I think it was from the earlier concept art as well. I would go find it, but it's like a lot of pages we have to go through. So it's pretty interesting. I think we've obviously seen him in that flannel before, so it was obviously like inspiration from season 2, I believe, or season 1 even. Here's like a higher up look of Will. I guess I'll talk about it right now. I keep saying that, but like, what I really don't like is the character models' eyes. The game just looks clunky, like chunky, clunky. I don't know what the fuck the word to use, but like, I'm sorry. It personally does not look good. The animation looks weird. I'm giving Telltale Games the benefit of the doubt, like the dev team. I really do think they were pressured under time because The Wolf Among Us 2 got delayed. That game was supposed to come out first, but then Stranger Things came out. It was planned to be first. It was supposed to release around the springtime, I believe. So that really sucks because they obviously want to like, I guess they really want to make sure this game released before the show, because they really want to get people to buy the game because of the season 3 coming out for the show. which I find to be really shitty in my opinion. Like, it's a smart strategy, but like at the same time, you really need to like put in the budget for your games. I understand Telltale Games was like had a budget, obviously, like they weren't really doing too good on money, so I can kind of see like where they're going for this. Like Pete Hawley really tried his best. I'm not gonna pretend I know everything about the company, but like it's really sad like what happened for Telltale Games to be led down this way, in my personal opinion. But yeah, after the cancellation, Netflix wanted to make like was exploring like other options to bring Stranger Things into like an interactive medium. That hasn't really happened yet, other than like a few things, like maybe like the ride I believe they were doing, and what's the word? They were just like looking into spin-off shows pretty much, and I'm not sure if they're gonna make a game ever again. They made like the third game, first and third game I believe, but I don't think Telltale Games is gonna continue with this because this literally is like kind of old like timeline of when this game takes place, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, here's like a better picture of like Will in his 3D model of his pajamas, and here's a picture of Steve. Here's a close-up of Steve. Like, do you see how fucking awkward that is? Like, make a comparison of Steve. You will see my point. Like, this does not look. I don't even know. I think they were trying to go with the Back to the Future style, but I'm really sorry. It just does not work. It just does not work. Like, you can make it work. You can add that style, but like, it's just so lazily like created. I'm guessing it's because if the actors from the show were the voice acting in this game, they were obviously focusing on that budget more than the actual game model's budget. Which, I'm sorry, I love the actors, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like you should have just hired new voices or something. I don't know. I probably would have been distracting, honestly. It was probably like a hard decision for them to make, but this is not good. I know this is like pre-alpha footage, but like the game was supposed to release like really soon, like in the summer or right before spring. So episode 1 was supposed to release like right before spring. So clearly, this was probably what the game was gonna look like. That the hair was gonna stay like that. The only thing I would see being fixed is maybe the eyes and eyebrows or something. I don't know. That's just my thoughts at the moment. But yeah. Here's a picture of Lucas. Pretty cool. Like look at the hair, like oh my god. Like it just does not look good, I'm sorry. Like here's Hopper. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I'm just gonna stop complaining. I know, I shouldn't be complaining about this, but like Dustin, oh my gosh, they did Dustin dirty. Like, I don't know. But yeah, here's a picture of Dustin and Joyce. Her eyes, like oh my god. I think the issue they were definitely gonna have to fix was the eyes. I think the eyes are definitely the biggest issue. Maybe if they made them smaller or something, then it wouldn't be that noticeable. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, here's some concept art of like the civilian people. They were going for like all the different looks. We have like these two boys again, and we have this guy that we'll see in a second, and some other looks. But yeah, here's like more designs that they were going for, and they were just experimenting with that could have been like, they most likely could have been NPCs. But yeah, here are the character models. I'm pretty sure these are NPCs just because the way they're like smashed together. They're like going for different looks, and this for some reason gives me like summer vibes looks. So it's a little bit confusing because I guess I'll talk about it now. Like this game was supposed to be centered like around the last summer before high school, which doesn't really make sense. Actually, it could make sense in multiple ways because I thought season 2 took place in middle school still, so they would still be in middle school, and season 3 was when they were about to get into high school. That's what I personally thought, but I could be wrong about that. I didn't really look up that information. I know I probably should have, but like I'm pretty sure season 3 was like when they were about to go into high school, but then the whole season 3 was just the summer. I don't know. Someone needs to clarify me on that because I think Telltale Games did an oopsie with the timeline, or I just fucked up like my head. There's like so much I'm thinking of. This guy, the bully. So I really do think that he was like supposed to be like the main antagonist, at least like episode 1, for Will to encounter. That's what I'm assuming, at least, just because of the fact that Will seems to be like the main only playable character, and it makes sense obviously because in season 1 we didn't really see Will at all throughout the whole season. So yeah, in this Telltale game, they can give Will like an actual character that you can make, because Will didn't really have a character in season 1 other than him being missing and being good friends with Mike, Dustin, and Lucas. I low-key forgot their names for a second, but yeah, it's pretty interesting just to see. I do think that he could have been maybe just a high school student, just because it's kind of hard to tell, because in Stranger Things a lot of the teens in like high school look like grown-ups. They're played by grown-up actors, but they're like teenagers still technically. So that's how like people looked back then in the 80s or 70s, 80s, yeah, 70s, yeah, 80s. So I don't know, I just think we'll just assume he's a high school student. That's it, because his shirt isn't like ripped up or anything, so we can just assume he's just a high school student. He's not a dropout or anything. Like, it's literally just assumptions I'm making, just because there's not a lot of details to go on from this. But yeah, here's like a close up. I really do think he was like smoking weed, just because his eye is like a little bit different in terms of like it being like a little bit red. Don't ask me how I know that. This is really cool though. I'm not saying it's I'm gonna try to stop being negative, but yeah, I really do love the Demogorgon models. It looks pretty cool. I think it's like a little bit weird just to see it in like the daytime, because they're meant to be seen obviously in like the dark and like special effects like background. So I honestly think they did a pretty solid job with the Demogorgon. I do think maybe they should have added a tiny bit more teeth. I don't know. That's just my opinion. This picture is like really cool though. I really like it. But yeah, it does look, I guess with the effects and everything, it does look intimidating, but without the effects, it's kind of like, oh, a big mouth. But yeah, we are gonna go on to the title screens. They've been working on like multiple title screens, I guess, on like what they want the game to like open up to be. There seems to be like a walkie-talkie. That seems to be like a major part, and like Will's like in the front cover, by the way. It really does seem like Will was gonna be like the main character, in all honesty, in Telltale Games Stranger Things, just because of the fact that he's like in the cover of the game. The other characters aren't in the cover of the game, so it's clear that they wanted to like have more focus on Will. And there's like start game, extra settings, and quit. So I'm guessing the extras could have been related to like maybe behind the scenes clips in terms of the cast recording the lines for the game. But yeah, here's like a different variation of like the cover screens. There's like a lot of multiple. This one tries to, oh god, this one like stays true to like the actual show intro when it starts up, like the Stranger Things intro. That's what they were trying to go for with that one. Same with this one, sort of. But yeah, this one's really interesting because it kind of fucked me up. We will see this guy in a second, and he seems to be like a new type of Demogorgon, Demodog, I'm not sure. But yeah, what's really interesting is that we see all the characters, and Max is actually here in the cover of the game. She has no concept art at all. She's only shown here in this part of the game, and I have two theories on this. Stranger Things is supposed to take place, at least from what I've seen, Season 1. Okay, I guess I'll start here with my logic. Will was born March 22nd, 1971. And so, when Will went missing, he went missing in November 1983. So that's when Season 1 took place. Season 2 took place 1984, October to like November-ish. That's when Max moved, when she came in the beginning of Season 2 of Stranger Things. And then Season 3 is just the 4th of July, 1985. Okay, so we have Season 1 and Season 2, 1983 to 1984. If it was Will's birthday from what we've seen in the gameplay footage, then that means that the Telltale game takes place March 22nd, 1984. Because that's Will's first birthday after his disappearance. There's no way that it can take place after Season 2 because of the fact that... Wait, I'm not making sense, but you get the point. But yeah, it's a little bit confusing because Max is here, so I have two theories. So basically, Will could have had his birthday on March 22nd, 1985 if Max was here. But since Max wasn't here, that means, and the character models look younger as well, that means that the game takes place in March 22nd, 1984, so right before Season 2. This confused me a lot just because there wasn't really like a straight answer. I've heard people say like it was after season 3, or not after season 3. I heard people say it was before season 2 or after season 2. But the thing is, the characters don't look older. They don't look like they're season 3 models. It could be possible, but I'm assuming this was just an idea that the dev team had and just decided to add Max without knowing what they were adding themselves into. Because look at this picture. We have a picture of 11 from season 1, which that doesn't make sense at all just because of the fact that that's not what she looks like in season 2. So this is probably just like a flashback scenario of her being haunted by nightmares of her being in the Hawkins laboratory. And yeah, there's other proof that we will get into why I think it's 1984. I did want to mention it later, but I'll mention it now and then mention it again. But in the gameplay, I'll show you a little bit snippet of the gameplay. Joyce is talking to Dr. Owen to Will about how wait, I'm just not making sense. Joyce is talking to Dr. Owen on the phone, talking about how Will is doing, because clearly they're like studying him. In season 2, at the end of season 2, we know that the Hawkins laboratory got shut down because they got exposed for their experiments. So how can she be talking to Dr. Owen if the whole thing was like finished and Will's troubles was over in a way? That's basically like why I think it takes place in 1984, and that they decided to add Max like very early on this concept and they just never did. I'm not sure. I don't think this is supposed to be Dr. Owen, by the way. I think it's supposed to be like a new character, possibly like a main villain, I would assume. I'm not sure because here's another variation, by the way. Because the thing is that usually with like Telltale games, they can't really like affect the show too much, and the fact that they're using the main characters apart as their game, they can't really change a whole lot in terms of like the story. Like they have to make it like canon, because that's what Telltale Games is known for. That's kind of like why I wasn't really hyped about the Telltale Games Stranger Things game. I was hyped, don't get me wrong, I was fucking hyped for sure, but like they were really like limited in their resources because they had to be like canon to the main show, obviously. That's what I didn't like about it. But yeah, this one's interesting though, because obviously the Upside Down world was supposed to be like a major part, and clearly Willow was supposed to have like, I guess in a way, nightmare scenarios in this type of game, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, there's like a different variation of it. I'm assuming this is like the finalized version of like what they want to go for. So this is like really cool, honestly. There seems to be like a board game, and then it opens up Telltale Games Netflix, and it doesn't say the year or anything. It just says like the legal stuff. And then on this right corner, as you can see, that's supposed to be like the loading, like the save option, and then it opens up like with Stranger Things, Telltale Games, and then the press start would like when you press start, the logo of Telltale Games would go down. And then it shows you like Will's house. Clearly the game is like focusing on Will, which is obviously like the main importance, which is really cool. And I really would love to see this title screen, honestly, because this literally looks like really cool. I really love it a lot. I really want to see like animated like maybe one day, which I doubt it, but hey, who knows. A lot of dev people be leaking stuff. This is really cool as well. This is Jonathan's bedroom, in case you didn't know. Like I'll show you a comparison photo of like his bedroom. And obviously this is like an image, so it's supposed to be like, by the way it looks, it's supposed to be like a live image where you can like move around the camera, and it's just a whole image, but you're just moving around the camera to take a picture, which is really cool, honestly. I'm guessing it's because the 3D models didn't look appealing, so they just decided to draw art and then just try to make the art like very interactive, I guess you could say, while taking the picture. But that's really cool in my opinion. This poster could be seen in the image you can see right now on the screen if I remember to add it. The Evil Dead. But yeah, this is like the main point I want to go with. There was a journal that Will could have had that he could have been documenting about like the clues and hints, and I'm guessing like the storyline of like what's going on in his life at the moment and like the previous events from season 1. On this clue, it says a lot of animals have gone missing lately. I wonder why. And for some reason it shows a picture of Mike, which I don't know why, honestly. I think that was supposed to be like, I'm assuming that's supposed to be like a early picture, I guess you could say. Like, did they have a picture to fill in? Because this is not a cat. This is literally Mike Wheeler. So, kind of weird, honestly. But yeah, the first mystery for season 1 or episode 1 would have been like animals gone missing. which obviously Demogorgons like to eat animals, so I'm not sure if that would have been a part of it. I don't know how they. That's the issue with this Telltale game. I don't know how they would have done with like the whole upside down world. Because we'll obviously have these nightmares, but like, nothing really happened in between season 1 and season 2. I don't think they could have made something happen, but like, realistically, I don't think anything happened. I think a lot of things calmed down for the whole game, and they didn't really expect anything from this, which is kind of weird, honestly. Unless Will did something that no one else knows, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, this is why I wanted to go into detail. This was the guy from earlier in like one of the cover for the main game. It seems like he was gonna have a big role. I don't think he's a character from the show. I could be wrong. He looks like someone familiar. I'm not sure if it's the teacher in the show or not, but as you can see, his clothes are like torn up, so it could have been possible. I don't want to say Demogorgon because I feel like he would have been dead, but like the missing animals and the missing cat, it could have been possible that he could have been like stealing all the animals, and he got like attacked obviously for like stealing all the animals. That could have been like a major mystery and part of like episode 1 in my opinion. That's like the conclusion I came up with just by judging with these pictures. But yeah, here is like other journal clues. There's like one of Hopkins. Can I zoom in? Oh no, I cannot zoom in, god damn it. Here's like the guy. Mayor photo clue. Oh, he's the mayor. I'm so sorry, I didn't see it. But yeah, there seems to be like multiple images of like the areas we could have gone. Hellhounds. I'm assuming that's what episode 1 would have been called, Hellhounds. Here's a picture of Mike again. A wolf, I believe. And here's a picture of Will outside in the forest. This is Hawkins Laboratory, by the way, so that's like really cool to see. Here's Hopkins, and then here's the dude again. And in this place, this is Hawkins' lab, I believe, so we could have gone there twice, I believe. Unless this is a different... These might be 2 different laboratories, actually, my bad. And then this one, I'm not too sure, it could be like the Wheeler's house. I tried to translate this language, by the way. I will show you on screen what the fuck it says, because this does not make sense. It's basically in Latin from what I translate. It talks about like the pain itself, the dose the guy feeds. I give him low as a fat dish and great pain or something. More information to eject this from the advantage. The pain is to blame pressure. Once a clumsy. Null result, and it mentions school district as well. It seems to be like a placeholder because it's like the same as like the other images as well, and so that's pretty interesting. Also, it says demagogues here, so I'm assuming this is demogog. But yeah, here's like a better image of like the clues. I'm assuming these are like the chapters, I would assume, of like how episode 1 is gonna play out, or maybe collectibles. I'm not sure. It mentions like a link, so you could like link together like the pictures, I would assume, and see like what connects and what doesn't. It talks about rabies as well, which is kind of weird. But yeah, here's like a picture. Dozer, which Palladian, which I think it's like medieval time, I would assume. Meet me after class, we put together something awesome for you, Mike. But yeah, this is the same wording as like the other one, which is kind of weird. And that's pretty much it for like all the screenshots I've shown you. I know we've gone through all of them, but yeah, something that we haven't gone through yet, I'm gonna go through the audio, I guess you could say, of like what the music was supposed to be like in Stranger Things, so I will be showing you that in a second. Basically, Antomo and Wells basically uploaded like a YouTube video of the Telltale Games Stranger Things music, and they basically didn't get paid for like the music they made. In case you guys didn't know, they were actually like the creators of Minecraft Story Mode as well. Not creators. They made music for Minecraft Story Mode as well, which is really sad honestly, because their work is actually pretty awesome. But yeah, there are 2 snare. I will basically play a little bit of the audio from each section of the video. But I'm guessing this is like in order of like what the fuck they're doing pretty much. So I will show you. Will's nightmare was supposed to be like the beginning of the game, by the way it looks. There's also like gameplay shown, which I'll go more in depth, but I'll show you like guys a little bit on screen. That in the beginning of the game, Will was obviously going to be having this nightmare, and this was going to show you how Will's nightmare scenarios work, in that it was going to be first person and you would have to hide from Demogorgon itself. So that's pretty interesting to see that this was going to be like the beginning of the game to like shock the players. And then we'll go to the next one, which is walkies. We also had gameplay footage. This was supposed to be after Will's nightmare scenario, where Will was supposed to get like basically a walkie-talkie. Like he was trying to find batteries for a walkie-talkie, I believe. There's like gameplay of him trying to find one after he like gets his when he gets his present for his birthday, and that's what I find pretty interesting. It's called Islands in the Sky, but I have no idea what it's supposed to mean. Like, it could be possible that it could have been exploring maybe outside of like what Hawkins is like. I'm assuming, like I said, I do not know, cause like this is the same thing. Like, I don't know. This one's called 11th Hour, so what this means, I would assume that this would have been a possible segment. I have two theories. I'm assuming that there were two playable characters, one with 11 and one with Will. I'm assuming they wanted to make the game interesting and then wanted you to be in control of playing as 11, I would assume. But the thing is, 11 really never was with the cast, obviously, before season 2, because she was like in hiding. So obviously this is like where the interactiveness would be with Hopper and the relationship. I'm not sure how far they would have gone with this, just because of the fact that 11 really didn't do that much. She would sneak out, I think, every once in a while, but like other than that, there was not really a whole lot they could do with 11. But of course, I think they could have done something with her. Obviously, that the show, us people that watch the show, would have possibly never known. So that seems to be like what the theory is behind it. This one's titled Smoke, and then I'm gonna play the other audio in a second right now. That way I can make my point. Alright, so that one's called Rebuilding Castle Byers. So I believe Will's castle got destroyed at the end of season 1, I'm assuming. I don't remember too much about it, obviously, but like I'm assuming that the smoke, both music is called Smoke and Rebuilding Castle Byers. I'm assuming that someone burned down Will's fort, obviously, and obviously they had to rebuild it. And so the ending of the episode would have been just Will and his friends just rebuilding his fort, basically. That's what I'm assuming that we've gone with this first episode, by the way it looks. But of course, these are just theories. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. What you guys think, what these could mean. Honestly, they have like meanings behind it, because like, why wouldn't there be? So that's pretty much that. That's pretty much all the music we have for now about that. But yeah, I am gonna be going to the gameplay footage, so I'm gonna have to pull up each individual, because I decided to do like the 4 individuals that were like the main importance. So give me a second to pull that up, and then I'll show you guys. But yeah, here's like the first footage. It says look at journal, basically. It would have been like a pop-up screen, and it says press Y to view Will's journal. I'll play the full video right now. Oh, hang on, Dr. Owen. Good morning, sweetheart. Don't go in the living room yet, okay? But yeah, that's basically her talking to Dr. Owens. I know it's very hard to read the subtitles just because it's like literally just so hard just to see it. But yeah, this is what the game would have looked like, and it really seems like it was like in its final stages, honestly. Like, I really do think that the game was going to look like this, which I'm kind of disappointed about. I could be wrong. They could have reworked it. They could have maybe fixed up the models. Like at least the eyes. I think the eyes were like the biggest issues. If they fixed up the eyes, they'll be fine. The only reason why I don't think they would have fixed this is because Guardians of the Galaxy looked like trash in my opinion. Like I'm sorry, it looked bad. Like I know Telltale Games could have done better, but of course they had like a budget. So, but yeah, we're gonna go on to the next footage. In this footage, Will is trying to find batteries for his walkie-talkie, I believe. It says junk drawer, by the way, and waffles, whatever they're called. But yeah, I was just on the phone with Dr. Owen. Why don't we sit down at the table and talk about it, huh? But yeah, it's obvious that Joyce wants to talk about like his dreams, like what's happening with Will. And so this was like right before, this is like his birthday, by the way, as you can see, in the next footage that I'll show you. But yeah, it's clear that, there was a goal for this, which was really interesting. So I'll talk about it right now. It basically talks about like with the new CEO, with a new engine, with a lot of other pieces in play, we want to draw inspiration from something different, both bigger in scale and that we want to be more free roam, mini open world, he says. A personal story told in a more open world at a very vulnerable time in a person's life. That awkward transition between middle school and high school, between adolescence and puberty and adulthood. So yeah, that's why I don't really like that this game was gonna be good. Like, I would have loved it either way, don't get me wrong, but like, obviously they were gonna be focusing more on like the school life shit, on like the kids' future, which I feel like the show's doing a better job with that, considering that seems to be like a major part in like season 4 and season 3 especially. So I don't know why Telltale Games wanted to take a knack at it, but yeah, that's that, I guess. But yeah, we're going to the third footage. This one's the interesting part. We know that the first episode takes place in Will's birthday. But yeah. Oh my gosh, is that TRS-80? I hope that's a good, oh my god. Happy birthday. I don't know why I'm narrating this. This is so cool, can we afford this? But yeah. Well, I'm glad, I wish I could take all the credit. But yeah. Let me play it again and then I'll slow it down. But yeah, basically, in case none of you know what an RTS, whatever the fuck he said, it's a computer basically from the 80s. But yeah, it's pretty cool because I'll show you in a second. They clearly were doing something like that they did with like Back to the Future with its choices. They have like, it seemed like Telltale Games didn't really want to make choices anymore. They clearly are choices, but they really wanted the choices to be simple in a way. Like for example, it says Joyce said happy birthday, and so they really want you to get a response time like, this is so cool, can we afford this, how did you know? There doesn't seem to be like a time or anything, which is pretty interesting. They really want it to be like a point and click game and take out the choices. This is still technically choices, but there wasn't gonna be like actual choices by the way it looks. I could be wrong obviously, but they really just wanted to make it like a fun game without choices, which I'm mixed about. I think it was a good idea, honestly. As much as I love choices in Telltale Games, and that's the whole point of them being unique, there's not really much you can do with the Stranger Things characters, considering the fact that you can learn more information about them based on your reaction. Like saying, this is so cool, like Will's obviously like very happy, can we afford this? Will's like very concerned about it. And then how do you know? Will obviously was like, how do you know I want this? So they're clearly kind of going with like the same, like no matter what you do, it will be fine. It's just a different reaction from like the characters. That's pretty much it. They weren't gonna do anything big. And then we get to the interesting part. I'm gonna show you. I feel like I don't think so. Okay. I should have showed this first. This was supposed to be like the very beginning of the game, by the way it looks, where Will's supposed to be getting this nightmare scenario, and it's obviously first person, which is really cool. And let me go back to it again. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a nightmare scenario where Demogorgon's like still haunting Will in his dreams, and they feel very real. This is like a cutscene, obviously, and then it would like, this is in Will's house, by the way. Which, how big is his house? But yeah, it like is in first person. This seems to be like the hallway where his room is. But yeah, it's pretty interesting that they were trying to go for this approach of having nightmare scenarios to still connect with like the supernatural stuff happening in the Stranger Things universe. I find that to be pretty cool. And then the final footage that I really wanted to show was obviously this. So in this footage, obviously Will is like trying to hide from the Demogorgon, and there's like scenarios where you can hide in certain places. It could have been possible maybe you could have hid in the closet, but for now there was like only the bed. That was like a major part of that. But yeah, you have to wait till the Demogorgon like moves away. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. This seemed to be like one of the major things. Like I'm not sure if this was supposed to be Jonathan's bed or not, but like this was supposed to be like a major theme towards like the direction they were heading with the game, with like stealth hiding. But this was really simple, honestly, which I'm glad Telltale Games was trying to do like some new interactive stuff, but like this was really simple. But I guess that's okay. Not really, because they went bankrupt. But yeah, that's it for all the Stranger Things lost media for the Telltale game. So this was really hard to do, honestly, just because of the fact that no one else really did it. There wasn't really a lot of information online. This was like all released when Telltale Games went bankrupt, and I just never saw anyone make a video on it. And so I feel a little bit honored to make a video on it, which is why I hope you guys subscribe and like the video, because like this really took my whole day. I'm supposed to be doing homework right now, and I was like, my depression. I need to distract myself. I'm gonna literally make a documentary about the Telltale Games Stranger Things game, because this is honestly gonna be the last video I think I'll make on the Telltale Stranger Things game, which is honestly really sad because I really wanted it to happen, but it clearly wasn't gonna happen because obviously they went bankrupt. And I don't think the concept, it was a nice I don't know. I think a spin-off with like new characters would have been like a great concept, but of course people love the main characters, so they kind of had to do that. But yeah, I would love to know your guys' opinion on the Telltale Stranger Things lost media content. Netflix, please do not take this video down. Like, please, like, this took me all day to make. Like, please, like, it was so hard finding this concept out. Like, 11 took me an hour to find it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share it. It would really mean a lot. I normally wouldn't beg this much, but like, oh my god, this took me so long. And to edit it, I have to like add some bunch of other stuff, like some shows clips and stuff, because I wanted to add that. Like, please support it. I don't beg usually, but like I'm begging just this one time, because like this is like actually like a high effort video I've ever made, I think, in a while. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, share, subscribe. I've started channel a bunch. Be sure to follow all my social media if you guys want to stay in contact with me. I have TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I would love for you to follow me, and you can see my happy smiling face because I have a bright smile. Ding. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. And like, maybe I'll make a Game of Thrones season 2 lost media content. There's barely any concept art for that, but it doesn't hurt to make. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.